Today we're going to talk about solving one-step equations with addition and subtraction. So first let's review a few terms. A variable is the unknown in our equation. The variable is often represented by a lowercase letter, and it represents what we are trying to find, what we're trying to isolate in our equation. An equation is a math saying with an equal sign. So what makes an equation different from an expression? An expression is just a combination of numbers and variables. An equation is a combination of numbers and variables with an equal sign. So while expressions could be simplified, equations can be solved. So we solve equations to find the unknown. The steps that we go about for solving equations are to work backwards from PEMDAS. So, in other words, in today's lesson, where everything that we're going to be doing, we're going to see addition and subtraction. In order to get the variable alone, we do the opposite of what we see. So, if we see addition, we're going to do subtraction. If we see subtraction, we're going to do addition. And remember that our goal every single time is to isolate the variable. We want the variable to be alone on one side of the equation and everything else to be on the other side. Let's try some examples. T minus 4 equals 22. So in this situation, our variable is the letter T. So in order to get T alone, we need to move that minus 4 over. The way that we can move that minus 4 over is to figure out a way to make it 0. The opposite of subtracting 4 is adding 4. And the rule with equations is that you can do anything you want as long as you do the same thing to both sides. So, in order to make that negative 4 become a 0, we can add 4 on this side as long as we add 4 to that side. The T drops down, the minus 4 and the plus 4 cancel out. 22 plus 4 is 26. So, this equation, our variable, equals 26. Now to check it, to see if we're right, we take the value that we got for the variable and plug it back into the equation to see if it's true. So in place of T, I'm going to write 26. Everything else follows. Minus 4 equals 22. 26 minus 4 is 22. Since they are the same on both sides, we know that we got the correct answer for this equation. Let's try another. Negative 4 equals 1 minus x. So first we want to locate the side that has our variable. It's over here. And we look at the 1. This is a positive 1. So in order to make 0 here, I have to subtract 1 from both sides. Negative 4 take away 1 is negative 5. Notice the 1 minus 1 cancels, and negative x drops down. Now it might look like I'm done with this equation, but the deal is that I'm trying to get the variable alone, and currently it's not by itself. So what we can do is we need to get rid of that negative sign. So we can switch the sign on this side, provided that we do the same thing on the other side. So negative 5 equals negative x is the same thing as 5, positive 5, equals positive x. So I switch the sign on one side, I switch the sign on the other. Again, the rule with equations is you must do the same thing to both sides of the equations. Think of them like a balancing scale. What you do to one side, if you have a scale like in science class, if you added a weight to one side, in order to make that scale balance, you'd have to do exactly the same thing to the other side. Otherwise, the scale hands would be unbalanced. It's the same with equations. If we take away 1 from one side, we have to take away 1 from the other side. If we switch the sign on one side, we have to switch the sign on the other side. Let's try another example. D plus 26 equals negative 15. So I want to get D alone, and I see a positive 26. So I'm going to subtract, to make 0, 26 from both sides. The D drops down. Positive 26, take away 26, cancels out. Negative 15, take away 26. That's like I owe you $15 and I borrow 26 more. It's going to be negative 41. And I'm done with that equation. Again, if I'm not sure, say that I look at this and I don't know if it's right, plug it in and see if it's right. So instead of D, I'm going to write negative 41 plus 26, everything else drops down, equals negative 15. On this side, the bigger number is negative, so I know I'm going to have a negative, and I take 26 away from 41, I get 15. Negative 15 equals negative 15, and my equation is balanced. I know that this is my answer. How about this one? So y minus 4.7 equals negative 6.0. I want to get y alone, so I'm going to add 4.7 to both sides. The y drops down. Negative 4.7 plus 4.7 cancels out. Negative 6.0 plus 4.7, the bigger sign is negative. Subtract the smaller number. Y equals negative 1.3. Let's try one last example. Nine plus r equals negative 3. So I look at my 9. Well, remember, when there's no sign in front of the 9, it's a positive. I'm not looking at this part to figure that out. Since this is a positive 9, I'm going to subtract 9 from both sides. The 9's cancel. 9 take away 9 is 0. Positive r drops down. Negative 3, take away 9 more is negative 12. So r equals negative 12. With that, I think you're ready to try solving some one-step equations using adding and subtracting.